like to call to order the Capital Improvement Committee meeting of Tuesday, February 20th, 2024 at 2 PM. I asked the repeat of Adam to come back again. If you could come up, Adam, you're the first on the agenda. You can do both building and then highway. I don't know if anything's changed on your building stuff.
We can go back over it again. I know I kind of flew through it the last time, because I guess I was a little unprepared.
And I'm old and I don't remember, so.
Yeah. So for FY '25 for the highway department, we always have road paving. That's always on my list.
Yep.
My number 2 is lawnmowers. So we have 2 lawnmowers, 1996 and a 2005. The 96 was purchased by the ball field back in 1996. The town didn't even purchase that one, but we kind of inherited it when we took over all the ball fields and all the town buildings.
Hello, Mr. Vandenberg.
Hi there.
Hey, you can sit up here.
All right,
You can take this one.
this is fine.
Can you have
And I
that?
Oh,
can get a
absolutely.
big picture.
All right, he's going to get multiple ones. You got 2.
You have both. Early next week, oh, we never heard.
Okay, you can have that.
Oh, it's all right. I don't-
All right, he just started.
Okay.
And so just start,
Yep.
you're only on the
So,
second item.
Highway capital, so our number 1, like I said, every year we have road paving. Number 2 is our lawnmowers. So we have 2 lawnmowers, one's one's a 1996 and one's a 2005. The 1996 was purchased by the ball field many years, in 96, and then turned over to us when we took over mowing the ball field. We only have 2 mowers at the highway, one's the ball field mower, and that's like a 62-inch mower. And the smaller one at the highway department is a 48-inch mower. So we're looking to purchase 2 52-inch mowers with baggers, so we can eliminate both those. Right now, the 62-inch mower is done. It's completely dead. There's nothing going to be put into that mower. They told us at the end of last year. It died about halfway through the probably fall pickup, and they said it's not worth it anymore. They were actually confused why we were still putting money into it all these years. The 2005 mower is it's dead right now, but it's not dead. It's broken right now. We have to replace some of the deck parts in it. Probably going to cost a couple $1,000s for that, but that's only going to get us for a year. And after that, it's going to have to be completely rebuilt. The motor's ticking. There's a lot of things that are happening to it that need to be to have it up and running. Unfortunately, a new mower is like $15,000, but if you're going to put $6,000 into a 20-year-old mower, then it's not a good investment, especially for the town.
So what's the cost for both of them?
$30,000, $15,000 each.
And that's a good number?
That is a good number, correct? Yep.
So you do all the fields other than the school fields?
So we do fire station, library, post office, municipal center, Soldiers Field, Mountain Road Field, all the commons around town, the small commons and the big commons.
Any idea of acreage?
I don't know.
No, I was curious.
Yeah, you can ask me, but yeah. We have 2 guys that will mow all summer long. We have 2 guys that are dedicated to that. That's all they do all year round, all summer long.
It's always the new guy.
Huh? VFW too, I'm sorry, yeah, VFW and the 19 Main Street, that brown house. We mow the grass just because the town bought it, and
Yeah.
we keep up with it. So, but we literally, like I said, we've got 2 guys that mow late spring, all summer, and, in the fall, trying to pick up leaves, and then, those guys come back on the regular crew. So, we have 2 guys dedicated to that, so it's an important thing. We do a lot with it.
What are, you said there were one main common, which is the one
The big one, yeah.
in Old Douglas, and then some smaller.
So we have like Carter Square. Carter Square, the one at the northeast is another common there. We have the small ones in front of the credit union library, those small commons there, which we hand mow those ones. But the library, we have the big mower for the library. The municipal center, the common across the street there, we have to do that one.
Okay, I just wouldn't have called them commons.
Oh, yeah, all right, sorry. Yeah,
That's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, everything basically but the schools. We mow everything out back here, all around this building here.
And thanks for keeping the brand name off it.
Yeah, I've learned that. Thank you.
So you weren't here last meeting, right, Dick?
Correct.
Right. So what we talked about was, it's been the past practice to call it a John Deere loader or something like that. And the problem that Adam ran into is we need to change it on this next meeting, town meeting, is international dump truck. Now he can't get an international dump truck. So now he's trying to find a dump truck, but he can't find a dump truck because it's labeled international. So moving forward, we're just going to take branding off of items so that way we don't run into that problem.
So the number 3 on my list is for a loader with a plow. We have, that's for $315,000. So that'll replace the 2000, I believe it's a 2008 plow loader that we have right now. That one is just starting to pull a little money into it. I don't want to go over that cliff. Luckily, like I said, it's parked inside, which is very helpful. So it saves a lot, but unfortunately, it's out in the worst conditions. So we're just going to get to that point where I just don't want to do what we did last time, and that was well before me, and it was the old boss before John, is the motor went in the loader, and they put $25,000 into a motor to get rid of it the year after, you know?
Yeah.
And they only got $20,000 for a trade-in, right? You know, so it's just, I don't ever want
Yeah.
to try to get to that point.
Gotcha.
And number 4 was 6-wheel dump truck with plow and sander for $285,000.
Yeah,
Yep.
that 315 is a lot more than a year ago, right?
So-
You stickered for.
In '22, he was at 230. Last year, he was at 280.
Yep.
And now it's up to 315.
keeps going up
And this is a problem with everything that we're purchasing. That's why I asked him, is those numbers accurate on the,
And these 3 numbers are all been recent quotes from companies that, you know, like I said, I'm not branding anything, but try not to, but these are all recent quotes that I've received in the last 2 months. And the 6-wheel dump truck is not an international that I got a quote from, because obviously, as you know, and we've discussed, I'm at least 2 years out for a truck if I order from international today. I called Freightliner, I'm a year out, and I've called Mac, and he said, call me back in August. He says, I won't even know then what I'll have for the next year, so.
And it was last meeting that we talked about the post office HVAC units were 65 instead of 60.
Yep, correct. That's the newest number was 65, which, I mean, that hasn't gone up a lot, which is
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just bringing
Yep.
Dick up to speed on it.
Yeah, so so my number 1 was obviously we need 50,000 to continue with the post office paving. We went out to bid, we were short, we didn't have enough money. The engineer, I asked him, I'm like, what do you think is a good solid number for next year? Because again, it's a bidding process, you don't know, depends on asphalt prices, everything, and he gave me to ask for 50,000 more, he says, and that should cover everything to get us by. I said, okay, and then, well, like I said, again, whatever we don't use, we bring back, so. Rather not have to keep coming back to the well every time, I'd rather try to hit it once and then turn everything back that we don't use. Number 2 was the post office 10-ton HVAC unit. That's the large main unit, again, that services the post office floor, just the post office, senior center separate, for $65,000. Number 3 was municipal first and second floor lobby windows. If you go out to the gym lobby, you'll see the glass with the, you know, they're all fogged over, the water's getting between them, the green stuff that's growing in between the panes. And that is a good number too. I just received that quote this morning for $30,000. Post office interior and exterior painting, again, that's our every year, every 5 years we're required in the lease to paint that. So that number is the same as it's always been. Last time we did it a few years ago, it was like, I think it was like 55 that we came in at, or somewhere in that area. But they did a great job. I don't expect it to come in as high. I'm waiting for that quote. I still don't have it, but it did last a lot longer, and it looks much nicer this time. The municipal first floor HVAC units, and that's for the 3 air conditioning units in heat core air conditioners down resource room, first floor, first half of the building, second half, and the air handlers, they got to do some duct work, including in that, for $130,000.
And that's up from 85.
That is correct. And demolition of 19 Main Street, I know the building facilities put that on, as a recommendation. It's always been on here also. And I did get a recent cost estimate of $65,000 for that. But
That includes the asbestos abatement?
correct, he gave me 15 for the asbestos abatement and 50 for the demolition.
Anybody have any questions for Adam on the building stuff?
Again, like I mentioned, and I like to put this disclaimer in there, a lot of the quotes, if you read the bottom of them, they're good for 20 days, 30 days, and that's it. And that's where we're at now, unfortunately.
Yep.
So you hate to see it, but it's hard to come forth to you guys here, in February, and then by the time May gets voted on, the price has changed, but
Are all of these, the highway ones, the equipment,
yes.
are they actually available? I mean,
So right now, until you order it, they don't tell you. You don't know.
jeez.
Until you order it, yeah. That's the hard part you have. I mean, we can, once we have the funding, before we sign anything, we call and say, okay, what, where we're at with this. They tell me a year out, then I'll go to Caterpillar and say, okay, John Deere's a year out, what do you, but they're all disclaimer is just like the International. It was, we put everything forward, sent the contract, it was all set. They told us up front it was gonna be a year and a half, and now it's gonna be 2 years. And by the time we get the contract in, they sign it, they kind of, hold you hostage, but that's kind of where you're at if you want a piece of equipment. So you have to really try to shop around and see who's got equipment. Right now, the biggest thing this morning was frame rails for trucks. They can't find them, so now I'm into the point, that's every industry, so.
The other thing from last meeting, Dick, was the, excuse everybody, excuse me, because I'm just talking to them directly, I'm just trying to get them up to speed. The Municipal Center first floor electrical has been put on hold,
Right.
and the architectural engineering for first and second floor renovation, that's also put on hold, those two items.
So the HVAC went from 85 to 130?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Part of that is components, and the other part of it is the new refrigerants and the retrofitting that they have to do. It's not just changing the condensers, they have to change the coils inside, and then that reconfigures the ductwork, and it keeps getting chased down. So I've been pretty adamant with Adam to get accurate numbers, so we don't get stuck with voting to approve something, and then we can't do the job.
What did you mean on hold? For
Well,
the
we're not doing,
electrical and
it's not being done at this time. It's
So
on,
do we just cross it off the list, or?
well, it's not going to be on fiscal year '25, I guess is the best way to do it. So
What's
it's,
that,
it's-
6 is on 26.
excuse me?
It's on FY '26 on this.
Correct.
On my list, I moved it off.
Yeah.
He moved it down, so we just got the generator that was just placed last week outside, and it's not connected as of yet. So that'll be the first part of it. Once that's up to speed, then they're going to start looking at the electrical service on the first floor. Is that correct, Adam?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how the generator works with everything before before we have an issue, right?
You may find circuits that aren't needed, or you may need to add circuits, whatever. Plus, the HVAC will have something to do with that as well, as for
So
loading.
do we just cross these off of FY '26 then? If it,
No, we're doing, so 25 is what we're worried about, so you're not going to cross them off 26. They're on, from our town warrant last year, we had it on fiscal year '25. Adam moved it to fiscal year '26. He's anticipating doing it in the very near future, but he's not ready to do it this year, so it's going to open up some space for things that come in on the list, such as possibly his mowers, right? It just makes good sense. If you're going to spend 40 to 50% to repair a mower, buy a new one. It's a 1996 and an 05, so let's use the 05, that's 19 years. It doesn't make sense to keep throwing good money after bad.
And a lot of, like, the electrical thing, The reason I pushed it off is because the generator was delayed. It was a year to get a generator, so we're, everything kind of bounces a little bit.
It
because
might
it's
even been a
supposed-
little more than that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, like generator comes in, then we do the electrical.
Yeah.
And the problem is now that was a year out, so now I'm still chasing to catch up.
It
That's-
was ordered so long ago, I forgot we even had one coming. But anyways,
So if I may,
yes.
pertaining to what Ellie is saying, Adam puts it on his building maintenance capital list from 25 down to 26.
Correct.
And then we.
That's what
Overall,
that's what his ask is, and it's
Yeah.
up to us to decide
Where,
if that makes the grade. So the other thing that's on here, Mr. Vandenberg, is on fiscal year '26, the highway department brush cutter tractor with side mower is no longer needed because his new sidewalk tractor, we got him a brush attachment for that, right? So if you, just for moving marbles on the table, 185 comes out of 25, 174 dropped off 26, so it's not that far of a reach to still keep it in the mix if that's what we choose to do, right? So,
that was-
uncharacteristic,
So that was all passed.
I forgot to get our actual capital budget for this year, so we're going to assume that this is good, right? I don't know if we can squeak any more pennies out of it, but Gene's tied up on a Zoom meeting, and Matt's off-site at that same meeting, but he's in person at it, so, and they both had to attend it, so I couldn't get either one of them to get that answer for me. Anybody else have any questions for Adam on the, might as well, why don't we talk about 26 too, Adam? Because I would rather, we got to create our fifth year, but we might as well look at 26, so then if there's any questions, because we have to realistically look at that instead of trying to recreate it next year, right? We should address it a little bit this year.
For building maintenance in FY '26, I have a municipal flooring and carpet replacement in the town hall here. I have not gone out and gotten a quote for any of these FY '26s, so this is, and I did get a quote a couple of years ago when we were doing all of them every year, but this is to replace the carpets, some flooring it needs to be done here in the first floor of the municipal center. It's basically the hallways. Right now, you can't do the offices because I don't know how you'd move half the stuff, like the safes and everything that they have in here. You'd have to hire someone to do a lot of that work, but at least the hallways, the meeting rooms, the bathrooms, like the men's room, the tiles are all coming up, stuff like that I'd like to replace. And then look at the offices. My goal was to do like phases, so it wasn't always like a big cost. We could do, if we moved upstairs, we'd do the architectural engineer upstairs, and then, the design, and then we'd renovate upstairs, and they'd move half the stuff up there, and then we could do stuff down here opposite. So that was I have that for $75,000. Again, like I said, I don't have any official quotes. The first floor electrical, because I bumped it off because of the generator, we had $185,000. We have a lot of old wiring in this building, and it's multiple different, decades of wiring, and that really needs to be addressed. Like I said, I get nervous when I see a space heater in this building, because even though we needed them because we had a boiler issue, I'm like, you can't plug in too many things because things fry and everything goes bad. So the second floor HVAC units, we have 2 right now rooftop units that are working. We replaced them recently with the funds that we had. The other 2 need to be done, and then the one on the elevator roof that needs to be done. And then the architecture engineer for the first and second floor renovation, if that's what is still proposed. I don't know how this is going to work, but everything's a domino effect of sprinkler system, what's required, and then once we get the sprinkler system, then we can address other issues. So, and I have that for
I have a
$45,000.
question on, ultimately, the architectural work for the renovation itself and the flooring. I'd hate to see us put $75,000, whatever comes out to be, flooring in the building, and then have them tear sheetrock and
Yeah,
destroy all that.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
would it be something that independently you're not going to
So that's,
throw it out here because?
Yeah, so what I'd want to see, I want to know which way we're going with the second floor before we go too far. That's our biggest thing, and that's the water line that's going to come up Depot Street hopefully this upcoming year. That sets a lot of dominoes in effect for, now you have the water line, you have the volume you need for a sprinkler system, you update the sprinkler system, and now you can move upstairs. And that triggers that code. Then they can renovate some of upstairs to get the offices up there, and now we can start renovating downstairs. So it's kind of like one thing follows the other. It's been that way for a while. We've been waiting for this water line for, my 12 years or whatever it's been since I've been on maintenance, just to fix that, so we can address the issue. So we definitely wouldn't do something like that. I definitely wouldn't, believe me. I don't ever want to see anything happen like that.
Yeah,
I
so,
have a question about the carpet, too. This looks in fine shape to me, but if you like carpet. But are you looking into the squares of, because then you can just
Correct.
replace
Correct,
parts.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the problem we have right in front of Gene's office.
Okay,
It's got a
that's-
tear, and like, I can't fix it.
Yeah.
If you had carpet tiles, you could replace a carpet tile.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, or even some kind of a, I know, I like, they have these rubberized flooring that maybe is better for a lot of wear and tear, for like a lot, main hallways. And, there's several different options. Matt and I have had this discussion, because they put carpet like this, and you get one tear, and the carpet looks awful for years, So, no, I would want to have, like, the police department did the same thing, they did carpet tiles. So
Yeah.
that way you can replace the carpet tile.
Yeah, we did it at the library.
Yeah, exactly, correct. That's where you want
The
to.
installation on that can be easier because you can shuffle the
Yeah.
heavy, save 3 feet.
Exactly, correct, yeah, exactly, yeah. But no, it's definitely the way to go. I wouldn't do a full carpet like this, not in the heavy traffic areas like we have, not at all, not one bit.
I've never seen that thing lit up.
What is it?
This is the Star Trek phone, I guess.
Star Trek, it's listening to us.
Oh, boy.
Beam me up, Scotty.
So that's the end of maintenance for FY '26.
Anybody else have any questions for Adam on that? Good, you want to jump in the highway, Adam?
So FY '26 for highway, we have a 6-wheel dump truck with plow and sander, and sign/message boards. I'm still hoping to push them message boards off of here and onto a project that they're gonna do. That's my honest goal, but I've been trying to keep it on here just in case it doesn't work. But there's some other projects that are gonna come through hopefully soon.
Well,
And
that's on 26.
correct, that's what you haven't talked about.
We're all done with everything.
Yep, I only have 25.
Yeah, okay, you did that. Yep.
So,
What do you mean?
so they have, like, they're gonna need sign boards and message boards. They wanna do another water sewer project up on North Street.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that they're gonna have to buy them for this, and then I can just kind of take them.
Inherit it, store it for them?
you store 'em for 'em.
Exactly,
You'll store them for free.
exactly. That's kind of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wax them, I'll treat them
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly, so that's my hope. just so
So
I-
are they applying for a grant
Yes,
to do it?
correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
good.
didn't read your
Yeah.
minutes, it's
Yeah.
in there.
Well, I got fed up with the minutes.
Well, we're thinking about taking those temporary traffic lights and putting them up by your house for the egg sales.
Yeah, right.
Perfect, we'll
They've
take
been
it.
quite busy up there.
She doesn't want to see them at night, they're bright. But, yeah.
We're sold out by
Yeah,
10.
perfect, good, even better. But, yeah, so I'm hoping I can get that through their grant, through their project that they're going to do,
good.
instead of being on.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I keep pushing it, I'm hoping it continues. But, and that's the only two things we have on highway for FY '26.
Yep. So he has the dump truck repeated both years, Dick? They're both the 01s, correct?
Right. 01, and the next one will be 08.
Oh, wait.
How many of those do you have?
So we have 7.
7.
One of them's a catch basin truck, so that one's actually on for FY
yeah.
'28, no, sorry, FY '29.
29, yep.
It's a larger, it's got a catch basin clamshell, so we do our catch basins, but it also has a sliding sander, that we can plow.
Is the one on 28 then still a 6-wheel?
Yep, they're all
Okay,
the same.
all right, so you're-
Oh, I don't put it on it? Oh, I
You didn't
screwed
write
it
6,
up.
okay.
No,
No, that's fine.
screwed that up.
So you do have a rotation in it, assuming you're,
Slowly try to get one, well, right now, we have 2 2001s, a 2008 that,
Yeah, when you see the number that high, that's going to be like a 30,000-pound truck.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
It wouldn't be his little 1-ton.
no. It'd be nice to get rid of the 2001s and the 2008, they're
Nice to
past
be
their.
30 years old in the fleet.
Yeah, they're past their lifetime on those,
Adam, what's your sense of the
the 360 each year for paving. As you guys look back on what you did last year, were you content with
We
how
are
far
very-
that money went?
We are very grateful for the 360 because we've had nothing in the past. We are very grateful, we're happy with it. Of course, I could tell you we could use more. I'm not, I'd never not tell you that, but that get us, it's got us gonna have South Street done where that's bad section, but that was $1 million. We had to save a little bit on our Chapter 90, take, from the previous year, plus this, last year's Chapter 90 and the 360 from the town for basically 2 years in order to pay for it, but, it gets that large section done with drainage, it's not just paving,
Right.
So, I mean, again, I would always take, more because we could do a lot more. Our paving study is ridiculous and we're gonna upgrade it again, because we are gonna, the good part about the construction with the water sewer is we're getting new roads. North Street, Gilboa Street will be, new, so that takes a lot of chunks off of ours. We wanna address, we're looking at Main Street, but now I started looking at Main Street from Franklin Street down. Bob's got a couple little things he needs to do with the water line there, before we do that. We have to add a couple drains into that street, that right in the corner of West Street, because we get flooding there. So that's $1 million right there from the estimate from the engineer already, just from Main Street Franklin Street to Mechanic Street is $1 million. So it's, everything, it seems like that's the prices of everything now. So everything goes up every year, asphalt goes up, prices go up, so. Like I said, I'm appreciative of the 360, I'll never, I'm very thankful, but if we ever have more, we definitely could do more.
I hope the state starts plugging more in, too.
Nice.
So-
It's crazy.
At the request of the selectmen, Adam, Bob Sullivan, Bob and Eric worked on a road moratorium so we can try to protect some of our investment. So there'll be some restrictions for the first 5 years on these new roads that are getting paved. So you don't see the typical thing, they pave a new road and then somebody comes along and decides they want to run a water main down the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not going to do that. I try not to do it anyways.
Exactly, correct.
Anybody else have any questions for Adam? You good, Dick?
I am, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
So I had reached out to the school department a couple different times. The three different people couldn't make it. Jeff Collette, Courtney Keegan, and Paul. For whatever reason, conflicts, whether it's vacation or whatever other problems they have. I did reach out to them to find out what the status of the first oil tank that we had voted on last year. Because I keep saying it all the time, but I don't want to put money somewhere that it's not doing any good initially. So did get a response back. They haven't got a good response from anybody to proceed in getting that tank out. Their feelings are it's going to be more money, a lot more money than what they had guessed at, 140. So I have concerns about leaving the second oil tank on this year here. It was very important. We had to hurry up and get it done. Last year, we went through this discussion, but it's not done. So if we're going to wait, we might as well wait, right? We might want to consider bumping that up a year to open up space for something else. We have on our agenda, it's actually not on there. Matt was going to do it. I had some conversations with him with the improvement to the security systems that we're dealing with the school. The design is going to be, or the cost of it's going to be greater than what they anticipated. So he'll have to, persistent little buggers, they'll have to Matt will have to come and explain that to us, and he's got to get on the same page with the school department, so then we know what we're going to put down for a figure in that, but it's the monies that we've already appropriated to that was $225,000 from opera funds. But if they're short, it'd be kind of a shame not to get that done because they're short some money. Right? So it's not like we took out of free cash, we took $225,000. It was out of the opera funds that we used that money to do that. Yes.
So, Mike, of all these things that were approved at the town meeting, are all or some of them in process now then?
On the fiscal year 25
No, this top,
or 24? We're in 24 now.
right. So are they working on?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The rooftop?
Don't mind me, I just had a moment,
Yeah.
trying to figure out calendars and fiscal years, sorry.
Yeah.
So the fiscal year, the paving, you just heard from Adam on that.
Right.
The, they're going to get delivery on the, what's that?
From the school in the last meeting, gives the update.
Yeah, I have it right there.
I don't know if you got a copy.
So I'll give this to him, as soon as I'm done. On the high school rooftop units, Renard contacted the manufacturer, set to ship on March 18th, 2024. When it's received, they're going to schedule to have it installed. They had anticipated 8 months for delivery, and now they have an update on what it is. So on the Douglas Middle School 10,000-gallon oil tank, the project requires a site change as the new tank is double the capacity of the current tank, which is 5,000 gallons. The new tank requires a site change, which was in the first part of the sentence. We have reached out to a number of times to ComTank and have not received a response. We also researched for other vendors who deal with commercial tanks and have had no success. As with most of these situations these days, vendors are understaffed and are not able to keep up with the demand. Therefore, oftentimes they are not looking for new projects. With regards to the most important aspect of the Douglas Middle School oil tank project, I have also been having a hard time getting anyone to provide what just the tank alone would cost, let alone the cost of the site change, removal, installation, etc. I am hoping that I will be able to obtain that soon, although I cannot promise it is likely to be far more than what was appropriate. If you haven't got a response and you haven't, no, I don't know how we could anticipate that it's going to be far more, but
Who wrote that?
Court-
Oh, okay. Is that somewhere here?
thank you, Courtney.
I have a copy.
Why do
Yep.
I not have anything? All I have is minutes. I think that was done on purpose.
Either one of you want this copy, because I have it in
Yeah.
email.
I'm good.
Yeah, want to give that to Ellie? She can have it.
Thanks.
So that's why, if you notice, I keep asking all the time, is this an accurate number and
Yep.
and stuff? Because I don't want to be put in this position. So now, if we put another tank on the list, that's $280,000. And by the way, you can't take the money from one tank to do the first tank. Whatever if it's been directed to pay for the middle school tank, that's all you can pay for that. You can't take the primary school tank money and get the middle school done and then come back to the well to get more money. It doesn't work that way. So from what that memo says, both projects would be stuck, right? When they finally get their quotes, whenever that may be, and I wish they had them ahead of time because we could always add to it to get the project done. Now that money is going to be stuck now, and maybe we can do it in the fall, I guess.
And then the other things on the list, are they all in process too, more or less?
So that was the oil tank. Number 4 is the Highway Department International Truck, which we're going to take that word international out of it. So Adam reached out to International Truck. It's a year and a half to get a truck, bare minimum. Mac, I think it's Mack Truck, Ballard Mac, will not talk to you until they have the trucks in possession to tell you how much they are and when they're going to be available. Freightliner didn't give them any answer either.
So what does the state do? I mean, they
No idea.
plow the Mass Pike, so.
Well, we plow the town roads too. Maybe they have
Yeah.
old trucks.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, when
Yeah.
do you go to the Mass Municipal annual meeting?
Yeah.
Can you all the selectmen go and raise havoc on this? Because it must be affecting other cities.
Probably
and
could if I
towns.
had nothing else to do.
What are you going
So-
to do, go to the cocktail parties or
Well,
something?
yeah, that's what I do. If you pay
Yeah,
attention,
yeah.
that's what I do all the time.
No,
So,
you don't.
I do a tremendous amount of things, so considering the 3 different boards that I'm on and all the other nonsense I get charged with, you're in library, so you could take it and go too.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so, but
Yeah.
I don't, the library doesn't have a budget for me to go to that meeting.
I think anybody could go to that, actually.
You have to pay for it, though.
Yeah, I paid for it out of pocket last year.
Oh,
I've done that.
I didn't do it
Yeah, well,
this year
they've-
because I
in the
felt that
past,
I
there
was
have been
at least
selectmen that
entitled
have
to
not
that,
done
so I did
that,
it.
so-
But in any event, I'm not going to argue with the state on anything.
It's not arguing, it's just asking them to put pressure on these places that don't have anybody working for them. And is unemployment going up or down, or what? I
Unemployment's
just
at
don't get all
3%,
of
I
that.
think.
When you
So,
go to MAC, they don't care. They'll just tell you to go to the next guy down.
Oh, are you talking about the state putting pressure on the vendors?
yes,
Yeah,
They can't,
why not?
because they're not.
because it's a private enterprise. They have no jurisdiction. If the state came into my business and said, you need to do more houses next month than you did last month, that's nice.
Well,
They would have they have no authority. So they're not subsidizing these trucking companies. So they don't have any authority to tell them what they can do and what they can't do.
but they're being affected too. The state, everybody, every city and town in the state is
Right.
being affected by this.
I'm going to assume, being a capitalist country, that if they could supply trucks, they would fill their lot with them so they could sell them as fast as
Yeah.
anything. Because the trucks now are what, 285,000? Oh, no, 315. Oh, no, that was the loader. So $285,000.
But the truck frames are now not being, who makes the
So what they do is the manufacturer, whether it's Mack Trucks, Freightliner, International.
No, I don't care about all of that, I just,
Yes, you do, because you just asked me
That's
that
part of
question.
it.
So let me
Okay,
finish
I
what
know,
I'm.
but I'm not
Let me
asking-
finish what I'm saying.
okay.
Okay? You asked about truck frames. So the manufacturer they build the cab and the truck frame, and they send it with nothing on it. So then Ben wants a flatbed, so they put a flatbed on it. Brandon wants a dump truck, so then somebody puts a dump truck. These are all separate companies that fit out the truck cabs. Mack Truck, Freightliner, none of them build a dump truck. They build a cab and chassis. That's all it is. Yep.
And who does that? Is
The cab and chassis or the?
making them or something?
No, the cab and chassis or the outfitting?
No, the chassis.
The chassis that's made by the manufacturer, whether it's Mack Truck, International, Freightliner, Peterbilt.
So it's not a particular,
No, they're all different. It's like Ford, Chevy, Toyota.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all the
They all
same.
make their own.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no,
it just-
there's
it
no
doesn't make
easy
sense.
answer to it, but
Getting a body
the
for a
state
truck.
can't pressure them.
It's a whole different story.
What's that?
Putting anything on the back of a truck, once you get it, is a whole different story too.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
now,
the whole
if you're doing Freightliner or Sterling or something like that, they're getting outfitted by Minuteman over there in Foxborough. Well, the lot's full. We can
Right.
only do one at a time, guys. So you're at their mercy. There's very few.
But everybody's, I mean, we're waiting for them.
Everybody's waiting for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so their lots aren't full.
If we wanted to buy an ambulance today, it's a minimum of a year and a half to get one.
And that was said last year.
It's like probably close to-
That's what the lead time is on these things. It's just ridiculous.
It is, it really is.
So- Could we finish with what you were trying to answer
Yeah,
Dick with?
if you remind me.
I'm reminding you.
Okay, what was I answering them with?
Well, just the status of all,
Okay, the status of those, sorry about
are
that.
they in process?
No, it's
You made
okay.
it number 4.
So on. Like the municipal key center, did that get done?
Yes, they just finished, they're probably about 97% done on the key system. I don't know if they were 100% yet, but they got a lot of them done.
I can get my office.
You can get in now? That's a plus. I think there's just a couple oddball locks that have to be done yet.
So that was under 2024. On this old list, I don't
Right.
see that I,
Well, no, this is, Adam just gave it to me. It was the town meeting
yeah,
from last year.
yeah.
So number 5, the elevator roof replacement, got added to the municipal roof.
Yep.
The bid documents we're supposed to actually have them this week to go out to bid, so we can get that done hopefully this spring. The sidewalk truck,
They say March or April.
we got that thing, what, they already got their sidewalk tractor, I believe. Huh?
I thought he was saying March or April for that.
Yeah, for the roof?
No, the sidewalk plow, the mower attachment.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is he's already got that done. The mower attachment was added on the fall town meeting. The key system's all set, the,
Almost done or done, you said?
what, the keys?
Yeah, I see.
They're pretty much complete. They only have a little bit left to do, a couple little locks here and there.
Okay. Thank you.
The public safety and highway complex design, again, that's the same architect that's doing the roof up here. We're supposed to have information back on that this week as well. So we're going to have to wait a little bit to get the right answer on it. Yes.
So Mike, is the sense of people involved that 125,000 will be enough to get the design done? Or is there a sense that it's just the first step in design work? And we're gonna-
I don't know that definitively. I can't even answer that. I got too many numbers in my head. I got messed up on chassis.
I'm sorry.
So, Mike, is that expected to be on the warrant or no? Or fall?
It may go on fall. It all depends on the where they come in with their design. They got to get our rough design done and our cost estimate. That's what we're looking for right now of the project itself, to figure out what direction we're going in with this.
So that's, the 125,000 is for a rough design and,
That's just a number that we had put in there last year. I don't know what the number is. I wish Matt was here, because then I could get some of that information. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have to
Understand.
put them off until the next meeting or two to get that. It'll probably won't even be the next meeting, because I want good information. I don't wanna put it on there and then we still don't know what it is. And the special stabilization account obviously is what it is. That goes into, for the
Equipment.
purchase of a future purchase of a fire truck potentially, and it can be changed at 2/3 vote at any town meeting.
yeah,
Yes.
but it's not specified here. It's
It's
just
under here as special stabilization account, yep.
capital
Capital stabilization fund.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's fine with me, as long as it's not for ambulances or library bookmobiles or things like that you've.
No, no, so
It's-
and this should be worded differently, because it should have been the special stabilization account.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, capital stabilization would be correct, because the stabilization account is the stabilization. Capital, so this was specifically, the wording was set up for fire apparatuses in excess of 26,000 pounds, so you couldn't buy an ambulance.
Okay.
We
Well, I
purposely
don't-
did that because
Yeah.
you don't want to get into buying the smaller pieces of equipment with it, which I just seen yesterday, because I was going around the different towns and checking some stuff that I wanted to find out. And it's either Oxford or Dudley just they're purchasing a new ambulance is $375,000.
It's Oxford,
It's Oxford?
I think so.
But we have the ambulance receipts, don't we, to go towards that?
That would go through the gatekeeper across the hall. You're not tricking me into saying stuff like that. Yes, Mr. Vandenberg?
So the FY '25, the total that we have from last May was 1,275,000.
Yes. Yep.
Is your sense that that's going to be pretty accurate for this
Well,
upcoming budget season?
if you look at the loader, right, and this is where I have to get with Gene and Matt and find out what our actual capital budget is, right? So, well, I'll start from the top. So if you go to the post office HVAC units, that went up by $5,000. Then you go to the next item, which is municipal center HVAC units, that went up by another 45. So there's 50,000 we're over. And then we jump down to the highway department loader with the plow, that went up another 85,000. So there's $135,000 that we're already over, right? In excess of what we had anticipated, right? We have, now I mentioned about the, well, what's coming off there is, so 185, 135, I said. If we're taking the electrical off, now we're plus 50, we're in the black for 50. Right? Then the oil, well, in the black for 50, but Adam is telling us about the mowers, so that could potentially drop us down 20, right? Another 20. The oil tank may be put on hold, depends on where we get with that. When Matt presents to us about the security system, I think he's in the neighborhood of about $100,000 short. Don't hold me to it, but that was my impression, that that's what it was. So to answer your question, we're probably even jumbling the stuff around a little bit, we're probably still pretty close to that number.
Might we have more money to play with than this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So you'll find that out for the
Yeah.
next meeting?
And a couple of years ago, I was adamant that I wouldn't even do this process unless you told me what the budget was, because I can't go to the store and go shopping if I don't know how much I get to spend.
right.
And I kind of had a senior moment and forgot to ask that very important question, so we'll make sure that we have that for the next meeting. Hopefully they have it, because I think everything's been proved out that Gene should be able to give me some sort of number on that. So, before we get back to those numbers, I want to talk about number 3, which is discussion on increasing the capital threshold amount. Dick, you weren't here. Ellie had suggested that we talk about this, and we talked about it the last meeting. The one thing that I was concerned about is if we raised it, Ellie's point, then it would become a budget issue, right? So it just get added to the department budget. But by and I believe that the whole capital process was set up to give you a little bit of a policing on budgets, right? To make sure that you don't have favoritism in one department spending more than another department. It's kind of a more transparent approach. If we raise the limit, we're eliminating that little bit of oversight. We haven't really adhered to it, because if we think back to the kettles, steam kettles or whatever in the school, they were under 10,000 and we still put them on our capital process. In a couple of years back, Ken Vincent was still on the board when we did that. And I don't have a problem with that. If they need it, they need it. And if we can make it work within our system. I don't have a problem with that. So it's something we should really try to come to a conclusion on as to what the consensus is, or at least get some thoughts from everybody as to how you feel about raising that limit. It's a valid request by one of our members. I think that we should at least give it the time to talk about it.
Did you, I had asked at the last meeting for you to check, have somebody, a staff member here, paid staff member here, to check on what other towns, cities and towns, or not cities, towns with under 10,000 population have as their,
I haven't got any feedback on that. I did relay that request.
yeah, because that's, I think that's important. I
So-
mean, that would make me feel better if I knew
Yeah, I guess
what
it,
other towns were doing and, or what the trend is, where the trend is going.
Yeah.
Not what Ellie wants to do, it's what.
no, it's not, and I was just going to say, so I don't want anybody to misunderstand where my head's coming from. It's just open thinking, and I would expect everybody sitting at this table to do the same thing. Just that we throw our thoughts out on the table, right? I don't know if because everybody does it, it's a good thing, right? So maybe it's 5,000 and not 10,000, maybe it's less, right?
Right, exactly.
I don't, unless you're aware of something, I don't know of anything that would have triggered this thought in my head as to a reactionary thing. It's like the special stabilization account, that all came up because the fire department came in, took $750,000 one year and killed us. We had nothing to do anything else. You take that with the 360 we put into the road work. You have to work today? Into the road work, you pretty much ate up our typical budgets, right? I don't know how everybody feels about this thing. I don't really see a reason why we would change it myself.
And
That's all.
also, well, the other, I just found my little notes here.
Yeah,
What was the rate of inflation from, and it was in the 1990s that the capital committee was formed. And so that's when the $10,000 was put in.
Yeah.
Back then, that would have been a lot of money. And that might have even been before the prevailing wage stuff went into effect. I remember,
So-
I
so
was
I just-
working then.
so I just thought of something else, another thing. No, just part of the process.
Yeah, go ahead.
Humor me, Ellie. It's just the, if Chris needs something for his department, right, he's the department head, so I'll use him for a guinea pig for today's meeting. He needs something in his department, and it's just below the threshold of whatever we choose, right? He's got one person to advocate for his need versus 5 or 6 people to say, yes, I know he's been struggling with that for years and everything else. His job, Matt's job, is to come up with a balanced budget, and sometimes you just don't make the grade because you don't have a strong enough argument for it.
Right, exactly.
This gives,
That's the name of the game.
right, but this gives the department a chance to get something, maybe it's, his department is very small as far as capital needs, right? But maybe he needs a new plotter or some foolish thing that costs $8,500, right?
He'd have to argue for it, just like anybody else, in their budget. Put it in your budget then, for the following year.
Okay.
It's just the way you do it.
Yep. So how do we want to do this? We want to take a vote on this? We want to table it and talk about it, think about it? There's no rush to do it. We can do it at any point.
I would like to have the information about the inflation from the 1990s to today, and how much it's been, what was a dollar worth in 1997. I can't remember when, I actually have the reports in my bag, but when we formed, we voted in having the capital committee.
I know in 1988, I made $42,000 in 10 months, and if I made $42,000 today, I couldn't even afford to take public transportation.
Yeah.
So,
But, and also what other towns our size are doing.
I have a question,
yep, good.
being new to this capital process.
By the way, if I could throw this in, everybody, $1 in 1980 is $3.61 today.
So it's 361%.
So, sorry.
That's okay.
So what's 10,000? Well, that was, I don't want 1980, I want 97, I think.
Carry on while I look this up.
Carry on while my researcher is,
Any threshold that's in place now only
1990.
requires something to come before this board. Doesn't mean it can't come before this board if it's under that. Am I correct?
well, we can entertain anything we want, is if,
So if I,
that's to the discretion of the board and the chairperson. If I want to put it on our agenda because you need a $1,500 item, and the rest of the members vote to put it on our list, then it gets put on our list, right? If I think it's just a ridiculous thing that you're requesting, I'll mention it to the rest of the board and say, I don't think this is something and they'll say, yes, we think we should put it on, or no.
yeah, well,
Right, so it's not a dictatorship, but there is some
So
sort
it's
of control in place.
$19.99.
$1.87.
$1.87.
187%.
Okay, so that makes 10,000, how much, 18,000?
Well, just move your decimal over, right? So it'd be,
Times
No, because if-
1.87
It'd be
equals
18.
18,700.
Yeah. So it would be,
almost double.
yeah, doubling it up to 20,000 or something like that. Okay.
Yep, so I don't think it's a decision we need to make today, because what I would also do is I would, two different avenues in which I would need feedback from, right? And I wouldn't put one of our members on the spot because he's part of that committee, because that's not fair, that's a committee thing, is I would need to know how it affects the overall budgets, the town budgets, if you start raising that threshold limit, that's all.
But as you had pointed out, the bylaw says that, that we would have to approve an upping, so would finance, and so would the selectmen. I think that was the three. So it would have to go to, the round.
I'm trying to give it as much chance as possible instead of just going with my initial thought, right? So I'm just trying to be as fair as possible and make sure,
yeah.
that's all. I'm just trying to help entertain
So,
it.
if I may,
Yes.
so just looking at how we go about with the capital budget and planning for 5 years.
Yep.
So to me, this is why we do what we do, to keep it so that it's not out of the, or off the wall,
Well,
and
yep, go ahead.
and to have a capital budget and to know what the needs are of the different departments, to me, keeps it more stabilized and moving ahead, because otherwise, I can remember times back where whoever got the most people at a town meeting got what they wanted.
Still happens.
But at least with capital, there is some planning, if you know what I mean. We do go about it, we work at it, we look at it, we take into consideration what's really needed. And right now, I just think it's good the way it is.
Yeah, just
Because
add,
otherwise, the budgets are, you know?
Just to add to your point, so, yes, we create a capital budget so we can get things fixed, but it goes beyond that, is it helps the finance committee, it helps the town administrator, it helps the finance direction to know a projection out as to what we're gonna need, right? So you don't wanna go, you know what, Adam, just get two dump trucks this year. Oh, Ben, you needed a fire truck? Shit. We didn't think of that, right? Oh, shoot. We didn't think of that, right? So that, it's just part of the overall process, I think. But it's a good exercise to go through. At the end of the day, it may change, it may not. So hopefully you take it as all good information. I'm not bothered at all by your request. I think it's good to look at things periodically and make sure that they're where they need to be. Doesn't eliminate my original thoughts, but that's okay. I'm open to ideas and discussion, and maybe it changes. If it doesn't, I don't have any input into the initial process of budgets or the finance committee or anything like that. You're part of the process towards the tail end of things. So I would like to understand how it may affect things, so then we can make good decisions. If it doesn't affect it, I don't care. I know when I was on building and facilities, and they changed the threshold from $10,000 for oversight on projects, right? Just like we're talking about the renovation and stuff, we wouldn't be putting that on. It has to go to that committee first before we even get it, right? Which you've been through it on.
That was because the state,
Right, but the state raised their threshold to 50,000. And so we raised ours from 10,000 to 50,000 before it has to go to them. So if it's $49,995, you don't even have to talk to building and facilities. The problem with that is if he wants a project like that, and he wants a project, and he wants a project, now all of a sudden your aggregate amount is a lot, right? That'll add up really fast. So that's just what I'm thinking as we go through this process. And so you have your inflation rate at 1.87?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take that.
Yep. And use that as a multiplier.
And I think it would be very easy, and I'm not going to commit to me doing it. I'm a retired librarian, I'm really good at getting information, but
Yeah, I second that motion.
no, I can't. I have other things I'm doing, so I can't do it, but.
join the crowd.
Yeah, and it's looking at the town reports that are probably available online, and just looking at the bylaws, or look at the town clerk's page on a town website, and it should say, it should have all the general bylaws there, so that's where one would look it up, and just to see.
To find out what their capital limits are?
Yeah.
I'd find it much quicker to just call people. Just
Yeah,
call them,
but
"What's your capital
I
limit?"
don't like to do
No,
that.
I'm just saying that's,
Yeah.
for me to go on it. I was doing it yesterday for something else. I'm on all these stupid websites all over the place, and I got this much for information. Right, they're not all the same as we are.
Yeah.
So, but some of them are different in a better way than we are, so it's not a negative thing, I guess. So anyways, we talked about that. I would really like to have some input from the school before we just go ahead and make a decision to take their tank off there, but it's going to be a hard argument because of the fact that it's not, the other one's not even addressed, never mind completed. So does anybody have anything on that stuff? On anything on our list that anybody wants to talk about on our capital items? Okay, so we're going to get into the minutes. Now, Ellie took the time to go through some minutes that we have. I gotta find.
I just decided, after I got overwhelmed by reading it, to rewrite it, cut out one page of,
Yep.
Go ahead.
so that's all I did was, and I don't know if anybody on the staff actually looks at the minutes for typos and stuff like that. But I don't know, that was just my view.
If I may.
Good.
On building and facilities, we had a situation a couple times, much worse than this. And the committee voted to return them and have the recorder look at the minutes, the tapes, and redo them. She's the one listening. And to me, that's who's taking the minutes.
First question I have, Ellie, is there any particular reason why you only picked one set of minutes?
Yeah, it had the library in it, so
Okay.
I knew
Okay.
about that.
I knew that.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
And I was just, it was so confusing reading
So she
about
needs
it.
to redo them.
Yeah, so that's why I decided, well, let me just go through this, and then I said, that's the only one I'm going to do it on. And I don't know, I mean, there are a lot of run-on sentences and stuff like that. That drives me nuts, but I did find, I'm curious. I think I didn't find anything, maybe I didn't even read them for March 7th, but I did find errors in other ones. And then I just got frustrated with the sentences that were used.
Well,
And,
we won't vote on these today, or I'll abstain from them if everybody else chooses to vote on the 21st meeting minutes. Two different issues that I have. First of all, we have a minute taker. A normal order of business would be to make whatever edits that we need. If we find that you can't read them or follow them or anything like that, we would send them back to the minute taker, because that's what they're getting paid to do. The wording in your draft is very specific to different things, so I want to make sure that it reflects what the meeting actually was. Some of the stuff is inaccurate. You have on here, it calls out safes in the rooms. You call them vaults on your meeting minutes.
no.
And I'm not nitpicking, I'm
Yeah,
just,
no, that's it.
these are minutes that we're
Okay,
approving,
well,
and they
yeah.
need to be as accurate as possible.
All right.
So for those reasons, I wouldn't vote on these until I actually watched the meeting. Maybe I said vaults by mistake. I don't think so. I think I would have, because I'm always saying the two safes in Jean's room that opens up space for her. So the 21st, March 21st, 21 meeting minutes, I would choose to hold those to have a chance to watch the meeting to see if yours reflect it, then I can go along with it. But if it doesn't reflect it, or if there's different wording in there, and I've run into this on other boards, it's not just this one.
Yeah.
So you don't feel special.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they're accurate because they're going into the record. I don't know if anybody's had any chance to look through the other, and you touched on March 7th.
Which is almost a year ago now.
Correct. So you weren't in attendance. What we're going to do this year, we're going to do something a little different. At the end of our session this year, we're going to have one more meeting as soon as the meeting minutes are available, and we're going to review those. So then when we get to next year's session, you only got that one meeting packet that says, yes, they read the meeting minutes and they approved them. So we're not going through this, because it's very frustrating for everybody. You're trying to remember. Oh, yeah, we did talk about that. It's just awkward, because of the way the committee operates, it's sporadic and seasonal, right? So it's hard to be efficient with the minutes, so I guess that'll be the easiest way. We just have one meeting, we're done with it. We do have to be done with whatever we're going to come up with, because on the 26th, I need to go to his board to present whatever we come up with for our capital process. All right, and so we have two tasks. I would like to pay attention to fiscal year 26 as well as 25. 25 is what's very important, but because things are moving around a little bit like they are in their big ticket items, the 185, for argument's sake, just so we can look at it to make sure that they're fairly accurate for next year, and then we can create the fifth year. So hopefully we can do the fifth year probably towards the end of the process. I just compile all and see what I can get for all the requests that we have, and then come up with the reasonable fifth year presentation. So let's start with March 7th. Does anybody have any issues with March 7th?
Move that we approve the minutes of the Capital Improvement Committee of Tuesday, March 7th, 2023, as presented.
Motion's made and seconded. So on the further discussion, I want to finish what I was asking. So nobody has any issues with March 7th, we can move forward with these. Okay. So motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
For the record, Chris abstained because he wasn't part of that. I did explain to him that if we ever run into a situation where membership has changed, you don't have a quorum to vote the minutes, you can invoke the rules of necessity to get the minutes taken care of. So we're going to move on to March 20th.
I do have a couple of typos on the second page. First paragraph, sentence, so if they get it through the grant funds, and that's what we were talking about on this highway signs. So what's missing is,
The sign, yeah, at the head of it says sign message boards.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if they, what's missing is get it,
So they get it through?
no,
So if they get
get through,
it through, so they need to
a
put
get,
get in there.
yeah.
GIT or GET?
Main thing. GET. All right, now you're asking for it. And the second paragraph, or C, or whatever, sorry, the outright purchase cost is about $60,000, and if they lease, so if is missing.
Where is this on there?
All right, so right under C, the first thing, fiscal year '24, go to the third sentence down, third from the bottom.
Yeah.
You'll see the outright purchase of $60K,
And if is missing.
and if they lease,
Where is
Better
it?
reading. Right here.
Oh, okay.
And the next paragraph, if they ordered ambulance vehicle 1, July 1, 2023, they wouldn't receive it, is missing. And the next,
well, yeah, so they wouldn't receive it. So
or they.
this wording was from Ken Vincent. I remember him saying it.
Yeah.
And he says if it was ordered right now, they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't see it for 30 months. That's what was actually said at the meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they've
I
got both
have
in
Some
there.
more on that one.
Go ahead.
fire replacement equipment, it should be the fire department, not they fire department on the first sentence in fiscal '24 forestry replace equipment. Should be the. Then it says.
Wait a minute, you're losing me. Where
That's the
are you?
next, Yeah,
FY '24 forestry replacement.
Okay, the next next.
and I had that one too.
Oh,
But I
okay.
didn't, we
I
haven't
thought
got
you were
there
just
yet.
talking about that.
No, the
Oh,
one
okay.
above it.
All right, so you got skid too?
Yep,
Okay.
which
So-
is down in the next paragraph.
Well, it's not the paragraphs.
Oh, down,
Same.
same paragraph, but down, almost the last sentence.
So the skid unit should be,
Not T, S-K-I-T, but S-K-I.
So you got to take the word "that" out.
no.
No.
You spell it S-K-I-D as in dad, not S-K-I-T as in Ted. Says,
All right, wait a minute,
The last sentence,
all right,
Forestry
okay. Yep,
replacement.
no, I was looking at the skid up at the top.
and we have one more in the next paragraph. The weather stripping and the replacing of the springs. Of is missing.
I just reworded that one. That's when I got into rewording everything. but-
Hey, guys, you got to read these too, come on.
Yeah, well, that's what Shirley said to me last time. You got to read these.
That's right.
So,
Remember
yeah.
Jethro Bodine?
So I had.
Jethro Bodine from Beverly Hillbillies, he had a 6th grade education.
Move we approve.
No. I-
No, wait a minute.
Another one?
Yeah,
On the first page, I was, it says under A, and it's the third bullet down, municipal center key system.
Yep.
Estimated at 38K for the municipal center. It says for just the town hall. So I want it to be for the municipal center because this is the municipal center, it's not the town hall. But does not include the police station.
But did somebody, okay, never mind.
And then on, under B, it's the fourth bullet, and it says that separate brush cutting machine with a side mower for $175. I think it's supposed to be $174K.
Yeah.
That would be a deal, and we shouldn't be dealing with it at Capitol. And last,
Missed that one.
they would like to, the 2 lawnmowers, the last bullet in that,
Yep.
under B, it says that they would like to replace the 1996 and 2004 ones with new mowers with bagger systems estimated at $29K for both.
yeah. Adam just said 30,000 for both.
Okay, so that's correct.
That's correct, yep.
All right, I just didn't, I wasn't.
But a correction for Adam is, this says 2004, and he said 2005 today.
Well,
So,
maybe he
But
said
was-
so
2004.
we're
that at
we're
the
gonna go through these minutes like this and make the corrections. We'll do that on these minutes, but in the future, and Shirley backed off from it, Adam had said that's only for the town hall, doesn't include the police station. So even though we may not agree with his labeling of the structure, that's what was actually said at the meeting, and that's what we should be
Yeah.
keeping in our minutes. So I don't have a problem. We'll make the change on these minutes, but we have to be
Okay, I have one more. and
somewhat
it is-
mindful of how they're talking, because I knew that about
Yeah.
Ken Vincent making that other statement that was in there.
On page 2, under 2.
Same 20s?
Yeah.
Okay, page 2
And
under
it
2.
should be the committee, not the commission.
Down the bottom.
Yeah. Good catch. That's all I got there. And then we won't do the 21st.
Move we approve the 20th
As amended.
as amended.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye. Are we sending the 21st back?
The 21st, I want to watch the meeting myself. If everybody agrees, then we're going to hold those until the next meeting. So we're on the 28th. Does everybody agree we're going to hold the 21st until the next meeting? Yeah.
It's fine with me.
No, I just want to make sure. I didn't want to. Okay, on the 25th. If anybody gets the opportunity to watch the 21st meeting, you may want to take that
That's the
option.
21st, right?
The 21st.
Yeah.
What did I say?
25th.
21st.
I move we approve the...
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I have a concern. Okay, I've got, I wrote in, and I'm not sure we knew it then, but we may have, from Blackstone Valley Technical, or whatever you want to call them, BVT, is that what it is?
Yeah.
From, but I like to spell what that BVT is and put in parentheses, BVT, so that you can keep on using BVT. You don't have to, but you have to initially,
Again, what's happening is, that's how it was said by BVT. That we got the tables from BVT.
okay, I don't think they're mentioned at all in here, are they?
And the 28th?
Yeah,
Under item number 1, in the main paragraph, HVAC replacement due to urgency, and they did receive some used tables from BVT.
oh, there, I had crossed it out and said, from Blackstone Valley.
Yeah, yeah,
And then put in parentheses, BVT, so that you,
right. At the meeting, it's not being said Blackstone Valley Tech. They're saying BVT.
Yep.
The
well,
minutes are
it
reflecting what.
doesn't, I know, but the minute taker should know that. I mean, does everybody know? Nobody, do you know what MBLC stands for?
I don't really care. What I'm going to get to, right? And you're getting angry with this, but these minutes are reflecting what is said at the meeting.
Well, okay.
Well, we can't just add the stuff in because it wasn't said at the meeting. Right? If in the future, you can say, Chris, what are you talking about BVT, Blackstone Valley Tech? Thank you very much, Chris. Then it's in the meeting minutes. I'm not trying to be difficult with you, but I'm not gonna, these are part of public record, and I'm not gonna manipulate the record. I don't think we can, actually.
No. Not supposed to.
Well, I guess I better quit doing the library
Yeah.
minutes. Not quit here. I can bug you all I want.
Oh, you can bug me all you want, but as far as, but seriously, if you're transposing the minutes, you need to capture what was said, not what you think. You can't, you're not there for spell check with them, right?
So you put in every time somebody says so.
No.
If you want to do it word for word, yes, you could. But
Yeah.
this is a summary of what the meeting is. Because Stephanie, sometimes there'll be like 4 pages of minutes because she captured every word. No, settle down. We need an overview to capture what the context of the meeting was, right?
I think the key for minutes is they're not transcripts. They're who was there, what was voted on.
Yeah.
That's the key for minutes.
Right.
Right. Yeah, to give you an overview of
You don't
what
need every
it
word.
was, right?
Yeah.
And for the future, when you look back in 1999 or something like that, it's useful for, having initials spelt out.
Oh,
Oh, but they didn't
I'm not,
say it in
I'm not disagreeing, but you have to capture what was actually said. Right? It's like Ken Vincent's, you wouldn't see it for 30 months. Shirley tried to make it, you wouldn't receive it, and that's not what Mr. Vincent said, what he said. You wouldn't see it for 30 months.
That's right.
I can almost hear him saying it, because I remember it. I remember him saying it when he came in that time.
So Ellie, any more errors?
I guess I
I
have lots of scribbles on it, but I'm.
No, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, hopefully you
you
don't.
are.
Okay.
No, so I don't want to talk about it.
If you take it that way, I'm
Make a
sorry, but I'm
motion
not.
if you think they're
anyway.
all right. If I don't, or somebody else doesn't, they'll hopefully speak up.
But, yeah, okay.
You're good with 28? March 28?
Do we have a motion to accept March 28th?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dick.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I'll abstain.
Yep. Yeah, when we get to the vote, you can do that, yep. No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Anybody abstaining?
All right.
For the record, we have one abstention, which is Ellie Chesbro.
And,
Oh, two.
yeah,
Brad, why did you leave the meeting, do you remember?
It was probably for work.
1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5. All right,
We
good.
carried on your abs and stuff. This is trouble.
Okay, April 4th.
I'll move we approve April 4 as submitted.
Do we have a second? We have a motion made and it's seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
We have one person abstain, which is Chris Pupka, due to the fact that he wasn't here. We have May 23rd. I like these ones. It's only one paragraph.
Short and sweet, right?
Which we didn't receive that, by the way, I don't think.
What?
The spreadsheet. See, what I wanted was a spread, and that would help us through our process, get a spreadsheet that would show when the department requested it,
Yeah.
when they want, what year they wanted it on, and it would be an updated list, so then if they fix something during the course of the year, it dropped off the list, we don't have it stuck in ours. So I guess I'll have to re-ask.
May 23rd?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where was it? Where you received? is this where it says, because I've got this under here about you getting an email from Justin?
Yeah?
Yep.
I'd like it to say Justin Snook, so you, or Justin Snook, Library Director, because in the future, when I look back at these minutes, then I know who Justin Snook is. And since it was in an email, it was,
And that's a valid point, Ellie. Just a suggestion to us at the board. Anytime something like this comes up, if we can try to, and it's probably impossible to do, but if we can pay attention to those points, so we make sure that somebody says BVT. So you mean Blackstone Valley Tech, or could you, what's BVT mean? Just to make sure that our minutes will reflect what you're trying to, I agree with you. 20 years from now, nobody's going to know who Justin is or anybody else. Excuse me for 1 minute. Luke? Yep. Gave me my text.
and there was one somewhere where
I'm sorry.
Jean's last name was spelled with an E at the end. I'll be right back, everybody. I don't know where I saw it.
Jeanne.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how you spell her first name.
I think
Yesterday
that's,
in Worcester.
and it's Lovett.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where I saw it, because I was reading these things. Because I gave up reading them, and then I said, oh, no, I promised
last-
Shirley I would read them.
Cracked in floor with a patient on it?
Oh, that's March 20th, 2023. Did we already look at that?
We're already on to May.
I don't know where I am. Lost myself.
We're holding on March 21st.
Oh, okay, I got it. I had too many pages flipped
We
over.
did March 20th.
So we're now on the 10th?
You're now on, now I lost my place. No, we're on May 23rd. Oh, whoops.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
May 23rd.
Okay, we haven't.
Mr. Vandenberg
No.
go see Gene?
There's
for
been no
something?
motion.
I'm not sure.
Do you have,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do it. If you had any comments in a minute, you would have stayed. Anybody have anything on 23?
But just what I had said about calling him Justin Snow.
Oh, yep,
Library
yep.
director.
Yeah, I wrote that in here.
Okay.
yeah, me too.
So I would be looking for a motion to approve the May 23rd, 2023 meeting minutes as amended.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain. For the record, Mr. Vandenberg is absent from the room, and we had one person abstain, and I know obsession, whatever it is. But we still had 5 people to vote on it. So we're up to October 10th.
I have under Highway Department, Adam Furno, the highway superintendent. Is he officially the highway superintendent?
He is acting. don't know what the act is, but he's acting. I consider him the highway superintendent myself. That's just so you'll hear me say it, not doing the job. I don't know what the acting thing's all about, but whatever. Asking for
Wait a
oh, you missed that? Did you miss it?
What?
Read the next sentence.
He is asking for a flail. I don't know what a flail.
Me neither.
Yeah, but I'm not technical either. I'm nerd. What is a flail? Or what's he
We're
trying to
almost
say?
done.
Swing chains.
Asking for a flail mower.
A trail? No, flail. What are the letters next to F and L?
Asking for
Swing
a,
chains underneath instead of blades, so it
Yeah,
hits
so it swings
rocks and
around.
things like that, you're not damaging the
So it's
blade.
the true word?
but did he use that?
I don't know if he did or not. I wasn't at the meeting. Actually, I was at the meeting apparently. I was just sitting.
You would have asked, were you at the meeting, Mike? You
It
would have
said I
asked
was
what-
here.
What a flail was. Yeah, I would have probably asked something like that.
Yeah. 'cause it
I think we're
goes
gonna
on.
leave, I think we're gonna leave it as is because Chris's explanation is correct.
And in the next sentence says he's asking for a flail mower again to mow the sides of the roads that were taken on.
Okay. In 20 years, somebody else can figure it out. Yes, Shelley.
Ellie?
Ellie,
Not Shelley.
not Shelley. Shirley.
And,
Shirley, you're Ellie.
yeah,
Yeah.
all members in favor.
Aye.
All members in favor in the next sentence, too. Brandon moved it, and these were getting the big shots, Mike and Ben nominated. But I think it should say, all members voted in favor. Of course, that wasn't said at the meeting, but I think that voted should be put in there.
Oh, at the top, are we talking about on the number one?
Yeah.
Reorganization, sorry.
So all members voted in favor.
Yeah, and in the second one, when Ben was nominated, you now nominated Ben,
Same thing.
same thing.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with the first one? No other
Yes, it
nomination?
is. All members, and insert voted.
Oh,
in
voted.
favor.
Okay.
And the second sentence, the same thing, all voted in favor.
Okay. Is that good? Okay. I'm looking for a motion to approve the October 10th, 2023 meeting minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second the motion.
Holy smokeroonies. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor? Aye. Any abstaining people?
Aye.
No, you were there once.
No, he was in the audience. I asked him to attend to see if he wanted to join our band of merry people.
Oh,
tried to scare me off.
tolerate us. Yeah, right, exactly. He was
He,
charmed.
he can never say that we didn't want him. It cost me $20 a head to have everybody behave that meeting, but that's okay.
Are we meeting?
Better,
We got to
So-
adjourn one more time
Quickly
at
before you
least?
say-
What's everybody's desire for our next meeting?
Well, what else do we do?
We have to get in touch with the school department again?
I'm gonna reach out to the school department, so today is.
The 20th.
So, let's think about our tasks. We gotta solidify fiscal year '25,
Yeah.
right? And we have to pick our last, fifth year. And we're gonna look at '26 just to make sure that it looks like it makes sense for us. So next year we're not making major changes. I'd rather tweak it this year if we could. So our tasks are pretty small now. We got through the meeting minutes. I think that was our biggest hurdle this year. Not because of today's meeting, just because we had so many. So I had to correct myself before Shirley Ellie didn't yell at me. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, 5 weeks until 5 weeks from today, I have to be in front of finance.
Yeah.
Do we want to just push this out 2 weeks? And then that'll give us a chance to get more accurate information from the school and anybody else that we may want?
Well, you also want to have a budget. But you could get that sooner than later, right? Well, try getting it from the school. We'll schedule our next meeting.
Yeah, but schedule it for 2 weeks out is what I'm asking. That way it gives me two, yeah. Well, and we have five weeks left, right? So worst case, we have to meet 3 meetings in a row if we can't come up with a conclusion as to what we want. I don't think we have a tall task, so we should be able to do it. So in 2 weeks, it gives us time to get answers from the school, hopefully get our budget put together. I'll see what I can do to put together a list of our capital stuff that we have to choose from, so we can make that 25 list.
So March 5 at 2 o'clock then, Mike?
Yep.
2 weeks from today?
I won't be,
Why?
I'll be at voting. It's the election day, primary. I'll just be down. Just Paul.
I can't make it on the 5th at 2.
What about on the 4th?
Yep. I can
Monday.
make it on the 4th.
Why can't you make Monday
I'll be
now?
out of town on the 4th. You can do one of that ones. Okay.
No. So you're out of town on the 4th.
Yep, then I'm
You're
election.
playing
Constable on the 5th.
Deputy Dog on the 5th. What are you doing on the 6th?
I'll be around.
Minutes.
Huh? What about the 6th? Does everybody have the 6th available? You have the
Right,
6th available?
exactly.
Do you have the 6th?
Yeah,
Do you have the 6th, Ellie?
I have no clue. I forgot.
No, I'm talking about our next meeting.
I know.
I know, I'm only teasing.
I do put it in my calendar, but I'm not sure when I'm going up to Vermont.
Okay.
And I probably could do remotely
Yep.
from up there.
You could do that.
2 PM?
Yes.
So it's the 5th?
Yep.
6th?
6th, Wednesday the 6th.
Yeah.
6th. Okay, I'll let,
We don't have a lot of heavy lifting, but I'd as soon have everybody here if we can.
Yep.
Or remotely. We can still see your face up on the TV screen. You can show us pictures of the hilly cabin. It's usually a snow picture when you have them up there.
well, it does snow a lot up there.
I know.
We'll look-
Okay, with that,
So our March 21st, 2023 minutes are going back to the recorder?
March 21st, yep. Well, we can send them back to the recorder, but I'm going to look at the meetings myself. I want to see how accurate it is. I'm going to do that before I send them back. I'm going to ask Lisa to wait a couple days to send it, so it gives me time to look at it. She does a lot of minutes for us, so I don't want to
Understand.
over-traumatize her until I can justify why I'm asking for something, that's all. Some of it I got cleared up a little bit because it's the, how you look at the minutes, right? If you're looking at them to make them read easy versus what was actually said, it could be part of the confusion in it. Gotta find my, here they are, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do it word for word.
No, it doesn't have to be word for word, but you can insert what you want.
That's
my.
when,
I'm going to get clarification from town council, and then I'll be taken out of the argument.
well, not if he's going to charge you anything for it.
Well,
Don't do it.
no, they're on retainer, and that's what they're there for, is to answer
Right.
these questions. So I would prefer a proper answer than my opinion or anybody else's. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? You want to talk about what you want to do this week? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you say aye this time? Good, we have a unanimous motion to adjourn.
3:45.